Exercise number 6, active empathetic listening. So what is this? Well, very simply, it's when I'm listening to somebody who's got a challenge going on and letting them talk. I'm not giving them advice. I'm not hijacking them with my challenges, telling them what to do. I'm more using some silence to let them think about and reflect about things. I might nod, I might go and wow, I might say that must be difficult for you. I'm supporting them for them to get the thoughts off the chest, because sometimes we know what's wrong, but sometimes there's something else, that subconscious mind, that doesn't allow us to actually articulate it to get it out, but it still makes us feel uncomfortable. And I think as a layer around this, we're thinking about with people want to be listened to, they want to be understood, they want to be cared for. And if you're very lucky in life, you want to be loved. So when I say empathetic listening, it's not about solving something necessarily. It's giving a platform for people to speak, for them to be listened to be heard, to feel valued. So we're going to give you an example now of some of the things not to do, and then we'll give you an example of what we should do. Okay, Amber, do you want to tell me about a challenge you're going through at the moment? Oh, just a second, let me check my watch. Yeah, we've got enough time. Okay, start again.
So I'm going.
Just a bit louder, I couldn't hear you then.
I'm going into high school.
Oh, I went to high school a long time ago. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm scared about the lessons.
Oh, you'll get through it, okay? Everybody does. You'll be fine. I got through it. Anybody can get through it.
And I'm going to make new friends.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Tell me about that.
I'm going to,
Come on, get it out.
just
Spit it out. Let's get on with it.
friends.
Make friends.
Yeah.
Okay, is that a problem?
No.
Well, you got no problem then. It's all sorted. Thanks very much. Thank you. Good. Now, this is a better example of this. This is a much better way of listening to somebody, not interrupting them, not hijacking them, not being distracted, not looking at my watch, not being a nuisance. Okay, so let's do this again with Amber. Amber, can you tell me about your challenge at the moment?
So I'm going into high school in September, and I'm a bit scared about the lessons. And I'll try to make new friends, and I'll have a good time.
Yeah, it's a difficult time, isn't it? And you must be a little bit nervous, I suppose.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, but we all go through challenges, don't we?
Mhm.
And most times, do they generally work out?
No.
No, they don't, do they not?
No.
Most times, you might think that, but they do. In life, things work out. You're still very young and precious yet. But you'll have those negative thoughts, but they will work out.
Mhm.
Okay, tell me a bit more about your challenge then.
That I'm a small person, so I might not be friends with everyone.
Okay, I've never heard that one before, but that's interesting. But if you believe it for now, that's your view of the world, isn't it?
Mhm.
Anything else that's bugging you about the school? Where to go? Getting lost?
Yeah, I might get lost a bit.
Might get lost? Do you think you learn more in life when we get lost and learn how to do it better next time, or just...
Yeah, so then you know where to go.
You remember it better, don't you?
Yeah.
So is it good to make a few little wrong turnings sometimes to remember it
Sometimes,
better?
yeah.
Sometimes, isn't it? Yeah?
Mhm.
We often say that we learn more from our failures than our successes.
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay. Anything else that's bugging you that you want to share? So everything's off your mind. How do you think about that now, going to school? Not as scary as it once was?
No, not really.
No. Okay. Thank you for that, Amber. Hi, Swanee. Thanks for coming to see me today. Tell me a bit about your challenge at the moment. Where do you want to start?
I'm happy with my lot, but I won't say I've overcommitted, but I'm in the process of writing 4 books. The worrying thing is I've not started any of them. I've made lots of notes. Yeah. I know where I'm going. I know the direction I'm going in, but it's a case of priorities of writing. Which one am I going to do first? Am I going to do 4 at once? I've done 2 once before. Do 4 at once, and it's basically just lining it up with the first book I ever wrote was back in 2005, which sold really well. That was about Jason Robinson. I had a guy who was a proofreader. He was an ex-headmaster. And he would say to me, you can't say that because if you do, you're going to get the legals onto you. Yeah. That was back in those days. Now everything's advanced 19 years on from then. The fact that, something could get put on social media or whatever, and you're thinking, but I want to have I should say the commitment and the be able to write it myself without having to get a proofreader to write it, but actually where to start, which one I prioritise. That's the difficult side of it.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that. I can hear that frustration in your voice, but I can also see you smiling as well. So it's one of them challenges that you quite like to do, but maybe when you get started, it'll all fall into place, perhaps.
It probably will. I mean, one of the biggest issues I have at the moment is the fact that I used to live behind a laptop. A laptop, well, basically, originally we all had the Windows 98, a massive big thing, you turned it on and you did all your work with your floppy disk and all that. Then became the laptop, which is a dangerous item in my mind because you actually put it up on the kitchen table, you'd watch television on your laptop, and you become a prisoner of your laptop. And I shook that off when I was ill a few years ago. And what I tend to do now is if I'm at home, I'll say I don't want to put my laptop on. And maybe it's that's stopping me going and doing 2 hours and starting the book off. I said, I know where I'm going to go. I know where I'm going, and they will all happen. It's just me seeing it now and saying, right, I'm at A, the books are at Z. I've got to fill the alphabet in.
Yeah, I like that sort of thing you alluded to, that long tunnel. Once you get into it, you can't get out of it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
How long has these thoughts been going on for then?
Probably about 7 months, but they've become important over the past few weeks with a couple of publishers who tapped me on the shoulder and said, we'd like to put the books out for Christmas, to which I said, which Christmas?
Yeah, I think that external pressure can be quite motivating or demotivating sometimes.
Yeah.
So about 7 months or so, you've got these 4 books, you're going to get them published in some format based on all that rich experience you've got. Who else knows about this challenge?
Nobody.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Do you feel a bit isolated with that at times?
No, to be honest, I mean, I've got very few, I've got hundreds of contacts, but I've got very few close friends. And they're not the sort of thing that you'd actually sit, in a pub and talk about, over a drink or whatever, or over a meal or something like that. I've got this issue at the moment, I'm trying to write 4 books. I've been thinking whoever you were talking to is sort of yawning and want to go home. Thinking it's a business side of things, and basically it's just a case of clicking it into gear and saying, right, once I get going, I'll get going, and I might have this conversation with you in 3 months' time and say, oh, by the way, Ross, I've finished 3 of them.
Yeah.
They're on the printing press. I've only got number 4 to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting for me listening to that you seem very well motivated. You got the experience from the past book with Jason Robinson. But would it help you if you got a little bit of support as well on this project?
Possibly. I'm in uncharted waters. I wrote the Jason Robinson book, and I was working with Jason on a day-to-day basis, so that it was easy to complete. I live on my own, so yeah, it's not the motivation of writing it. It's actually every now and again you just need a post to bounce things off.
Yeah.
And talk to somebody and say, I'd like to do this, or you might relay a story and you think to yourself is that amusing? Could I include it in my book? Because there's nothing worse than trying to write a factual book, chucking a bit of humour into it, and people are going, I don't understand this because 2 paragraphs ago you were deadly serious and now you're chucking a joke in. Does it work?
I think what you're saying there, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that sometimes you get too close to it and you're too personal with it. So sometimes another person can look at it from a different angle and see if it makes sense and if it's funny. Is that the sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So you may not need some support, but maybe somebody who could be that sounding board for you. Is there anything I can do? Be that sounding board, or anything else I can help you with on this project?
Well, you've helped me in the past. I always remember, obviously, I went through a very difficult divorce. A really difficult divorce. I had heart issues, and I was on bouncing back to where I am now, and I'm pretty proud of what I've achieved now. But something that stuck with me, and I've shared with so many people, is that a piece of information that you gave me years ago, and I quote it to so many people, the fact that if you're riding along in a car and you keep looking in your rear view mirror, you're going to crash. If you look through your windscreen, you're going to get where you're going. And I think I've quoted that to so many people, and it's simple, but it's so true. And the fact of every now and again I might review what I've done in the past, but I do tend to because I keep my windscreen clean as well. Very important.
That's a change to that adage. Yeah, and looking and hearing what you were saying there, and I can't begin to understand some of those challenges of divorce, of some of your health challenges, and that frustration with life sometimes. But you're here now, and you're moving forward. And I think to keep that hope that you will progress and get the books out and live an even greater life. That's something that when I'm saying it now, I can see you smiling and nodding.